Morning Rush.
Number 3, coming from Alaninsky. People really, really respect your personal space.
They don't want to come close.
They don't want to come close.
Not at all.
Aryan Aubrey. Di ka kukulitin ng mga nagbebenta ng insurance at condo sa mall. Advantages of being ugly. Number 5, coming from Ash Bigash. You don't have to worry about breakups.
Because you'll never get into relationships.
It won't even start. Morning, everyone.
Yeah, whatever. I'm late today.
It is.
I was 7 minutes late.
Oh,
This is
no.
bad. This is bad.
Oh no. This time we are going to do something courtesy of Paul Jeffrey. We are looking for the top 10 advantages of being ugly.
There are.
There must be advantages.
Yeah, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah, it sounds bad, right? If somebody calls you ugly.
Yes.
But there are advantages sometimes.
Sometimes.
These are the advantages we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay, when is it an advantage?
Find the good in the bad.
All right.
Or the unfortunate.
Yes.
Okay.
John Cyril is at number 10. And Humdinger. Kapag Halloween, matipid.
You don't need a costume.
You just go out. Maybe go shirtless or something. I
Like,
don't
imagine if you were Quasimodo.
Yeah.
There would be no need. Isn't this also in the movie Penelope?
Yeah.
She had a snout.
What if, like, you forgot that it was Halloween?
Yeah.
And it was warm, very warm. For October, it was pretty warm. So you decided to go out shirtless.
Mhm.
You're a guy. And then people go, ay, ang ganda ng Capri costume. Because you were
Capri
shirtless.
costume.
Ang ganda ng Capri yung dating.
Capri costume. Capricorn na Capri costume.
Yes. Number 9, coming from Aaron. Kahit gaano ka kayaman, safe ka sa kidnapping kasi mukha kang poor. Nobody can tell.
But obviously this is not true.
Well, yeah. Unless you're famous.
Yeah.
No, but because usually kidnappers study you first. They won't, they won't kidnap you based on looks. Usually
No.
they get to know that they have to make sure.
Yeah.
Because all that, and then they kidnap somebody who doesn't have money.
Yeah.
They
They endanger themselves as well. They
Yeah.
know that.
So usually they know their stuff before
Okay.
they don't really do it by how you look.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, coming from Spy Shadow. You'll be STD free because it's transmitted in a way that you're free of.
Yeah, nobody wants to do it with
Nobody
you.
wants to do it with you. But that's not true, though.
No.
A lot of ugly people are pretty active.
Remember, there was also an episode in Sex and the City
Yeah.
where you have this amazing, you know what, with someone, but they're
They're not, yeah.
Mhm.
Because they always say that it's actually... There is a belief that ugly people are very good in that
because they have so much to prove.
because they have so much to prove.
Mhm.
So they're usually very good at what they do
Mm-hmm.
to compensate.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike like with really hot people, it's like, look, it's your
The visuals is enough to,
and it's an honor just to be with me, so I don't really have to do anything.
Okay.
Okay. Number 7 from Lingering Thoughts. You are definitely loved for who you are.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you're not so pretty, so it can't be about the
it
looks.
can't be about the looks, right? It
Yeah.
must be like true love.
That's what they say.
And the entry that caps off the bottom half of the top 10 advantages of being ugly comes from Iñaki.
Iñaki, all the way in Batangas, says,
Benta ka sa Europe.
as usual.
As they always
Bentang
say.
benta.
Hit na hit ka dun.
Yeah.
Pwede kang supermodel
Mhm.
sa Europe.
Exotic.
Exotic. Yeah, so
You're
you could
so exotic.
you could have a very big career
Okay.
in Europe.
Maybe you're not appreciated here, but
No.
in Europe, you're hot.
You're hot.
You're hot, hot, hot.
All right, so the top, let us start off at number 5, coming from Young Indie. Ginagawa kang best friend ng mga magaganda.
Yeah.
That's what they say, that really
You'll
pretty
see
girls
that in movies.
have ugly best friends.
The leading ladies always have like either a big, a hefty girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or the leading man has a sidekick who's not
That's
at
true.
all beautiful
'Cause
or handsome.
Usually what they say is they don't like surrounding themselves with competition.
Yes,
So
they look more beautiful if you put somebody not so
Exactly.
handsome, not so beautiful.
So you rarely see like two gorgeous women as best friends.
Exactly.
Of course it's happened, but not as often as, let's say, a really hot girl getting an ugly girl for a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And number 4, coming from Joshua Miguel, tipid ka sa deodorant at sa sabon. Kasi there's no point in using them. Kasi mukha ka namang mabaho.
Aww.
So sometimes it's like,
But it really affects it. Because
it's so bad to admit it. But sometimes when you see a really ugly girl or an ugly guy,
you think they smell
and
bad.
then they pass by you and then they smell so good, you're like,
Oh.
talaga?
Bango.
No, it's true. It's so bad. But
Ang bango niya.
you say stuff like, in fairness, mabango.
Mm-hmm.
Or amoy maganda, amoy
Yeah.
guwapo. Just because they don't look it.
Yeah, because if they look good, then we think they smell good as well.
Exactly.
Because remember when we did the top 10 blind items?
Yeah.
There's this really one hot guy, a celebrity who everybody knows has like halitosis.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to sit next to him because it's that bad.
Yes.
But we never think
But
that
you would never connect it. Like,
because he's so handsome.
if you see him in like
Hunky.
billboards or on TV or whatever,
Yeah, great body, great
you
face.
can't seem to imagine
That he would
have bad. I mean, there are people who are that good looking. You can't imagine them smelling bad. So just do the opposite of that. There are people who are so ugly that you sort of like can't accept the fact that they smell good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's bad.
It's bad,
but
it
yeah.
happens.
Number 3, coming from Mr. Perk, lapitin ka ng mga fairy godmother. Because you need it.
Oh no, you need it.
Pinag-aagawan ka nila.
Yeah.
Like, ako na lang fairy
Ako
godmother
magpapaganda
niya.
dyan.
Hindi ako. It's like it's a challenge or
Yeah.
it feels good. It gives him purpose in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, coming from Jughead and Istariray, hindi ka nakukulitin ng mga relatives kung bakit hindi ka pa kinakasal kasi alam naman nila kung bakit. Like those pesky relatives, they always go, ba't single ka pa? Ba't hindi ka pa kinakasal? This time around, they're like, oo nga. They go, bakit? Oh, be. Okay. Hindi, never mind. Alam ko na, nasagot ko na yung tanong ko. One look at you and they know.
They don't expect much from you.
No. Oh, this is so bad. You feel so guilty enjoying the entries.
Mm-hmm.
And the top advantage of being ugly comes from Super Jelly.
Super Jelly says,
people assume you're smart.
yes. It's so funny because
It's so weird.
Oprah had on her 25th season, she had like a supermodel series of episodes.
Yeah.
The biggest supermodels went on her show to talk about beauty.
Yeah.
And one of the things they said was, when you're this beautiful, people tend to think you're stupid.
Yeah.
And
So it's the same way the other
It's the same thing
other
the
way
other way
around.
around, yeah.
If you're beautiful, you must be dumb.
Yeah.
So if you're ugly, you must be smart.
But that's simply not true.
It's not true.
Remember, like Sharon Stone has a very high IQ.
Yes. And
Natalie Portman is Harvard. Isn't she from Harvard?
yes, she
Or
is.
Yale? One of them?
Mm-hmm. Well, Jodie Foster is Yale.
Jodie Foster is
For
a
sure.
Yale
And,
graduate.
Gina Davis and Sharon Stone are from Mensa.
Mensa, they're part of Mensa.
They're part of Mensa.
Nanette Medved.
Yes, it's Mensa.
Yeah. And isn't she also from Princeton or something?
Something like that.
Brooke Shields.
Yeah, Brooke Shields is Princeton.
It's almost not fair that these beautiful people are also well endowed with amazing intelligence.
Exactly. Now, vocal cord power was saying something like you were saying. Some people are just too lucky. They're pretty and smart. Well, that's what he was trying to say. Vocal cord power was saying people expect that you are at least smart. Kasi sobrang kawawa ka naman kung ugly ka na tapos
It's like there's no justice.
BOBO ka pa.
And it's like, where is the justice in this world?
Yeah.
Right?
Where's the balance? We
The
always talk
balance.
about the balance,
Yeah,
right?
how could God
Like
do
life
that?
is fair.
Deprive me of beauty, deprive me of intelligence.
Yeah.
What have I got to live
Like
for?
when you see a really handsome guy and then you find out he has a small wiener, you're like, there is justice.
see?
And you feel like a bit avenged. But what if some people are given everything and some people are given nothing.
Sometimes that happens.
Of course it does.
We
It
see
seems
it.
cruel,
I
but
know.
either way, okay, it seems cruel.
But let's not spoil the fun.
Let's just enjoy the
Let's
entry.
just enjoy the entry.
Right?
Okay.
Oh, that is so bad. Especially that the relatives stop kuliting you because they know the answer to why.
So thank your lucky stars if your relatives are always bugging you why you're not yet married.
yeah. Or let's say...
Okay, I'm okay. Then thank you.
No, because remember,
Still
like...
bugging me. Thank God.
Let's say during a wedding. Usually that's where they bug you. Like, oh, kailan ka susunod? Reunions, right?
Or just random calls from your tita after not talking to her for a year.
So take your cue from them. If they approach you and they don't ask you, but what they do is they rub your back and you're
they
like,
go, oh, kamusta ka na?
or they go, okay lang yan. It means they already asked the question in their
heads, and then it got answered.
in their heads. So
You're
they
ugly.
just rub your back.
You ugly.
Okay ka lang? Okay ka lang ha? Sige.
Okay.
Oh, itong pera.
Oh my gosh, binigyan ng limos.
Yes. Magpaayos ka. So the top 10 advantages of being ugly. Start off at number 10. Coming from Freezy Menthol and so many other people. It's just that I wasn't able to take them down. Freezy Menthol says, hindi ka minamanyak.
Oh yeah. Of course. Of course these are not true. Most of these are not true.
Take this as a...
Yeah, it's just for fun. But it's because if you're pretty, most likely somebody will be preying on you.
And so many people were saying stuff like, safe ka kung uuwi ka ng madaling araw.
Nobody's gonna try anything with you.
Okay lang na pumasok ka sa madidilim na eskinita. pwede kang...
Okay lang, safe na safe.
Pwede kang mag-miniskirt sa convention ng mga manya. That sort of entry. We had so many of them.
Okay.
Number 9, coming from Mandhoy and Yontifian, hindi ka ginigit-git sa MRT. Actually, kahit punuan, parang maluwag para sa'yo.
They don't want to be near you.
Ayaw nilang madikit sa'yo. So they always make space for you.
Yeah.
Not because they're nice.
But because they just don't want to be near someone not pretty, not handsome.
Actually,
ugly.
A step further, they find it kadire.
Kawawa naman.
So that's why they really make a space. They don't want their arms touching your arms. They don't want...
That's so bad.
It's so bad.
But it's true. We are more drawn to people who are good looking.
Yeah.
In attention, physically. We want to be around them. We want to look at them.
You know, like a lot of pretty girls have said, like in jeepneys, men pretend that
they're asleep.
They're reaching something on the ground just so that their forearm would brush against your legs. You know, they kind of cop a feel that way.
Yeah, they'll try anything.
Or
just to get close to you.
They pretend to be stretching so that their forearm would brush against yours.
Yeah.
So the same goes with the opposite. If you're ugly, they go out of their way not to touch you.
Okay, people are just reacting like that's not true. Yes, it's not true.
Yes, obviously.
But we're just having fun.
We're just having fun.
Okay.
Number 8, coming from Ania. This one is a serious entry, though. They get away with so many things because they always play the victim card. Kasi mukha silang victim.
But it's true.
Like
I agree.
At the office, she would say, I know someone who milks this. He always, pretends like kinawawa siya.
Yeah.
And then the boss buys it because the guy looks kawawa.
And you feel guilty enjoying things just because you're a better looking than he is.
Mm-hmm. And they always play that kinakawawa nila kasi pangit ako.
Yeah, but that's the same like there are people who will play the race card.
That's true.
Who play the female card.
Who
play the dumb card just to get a free pass on certain things.
Yeah.
Look, people know that if it pays to play that card,
basically you're playing what you think people think is a handicap.
Yeah.
Whether
so that you can get
looks,
your way.
Or maybe your gender,
even
or maybe
your age.
Your age.
Yeah, the old people do that too. Young people do it too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone does it. But then for Ania, it's the ugly guy who plays the victim card at the office and gets away with it.
Aha.
And she was saying it's so hard to, it's so funny because she was actually not really playing it, but she gets into the same thing. She goes, I don't mean to make them ape, them ugly people. But it's true. In a way, they can be bullies sometimes.
Yes,
And
agree.
they bully you just because they're ugly,
Yeah.
but they bully you not in the obvious way, not
Yes.
in the way good-looking people bully you.
Yes. Even poor people
Exactly.
play the poor card.
Mhm.
Rich people play the rich card.
Number 7, coming from Super Jelly, Engineer Mox, Edric, and Andy Liciously. They all say, napaka-effortless ng mga wacky shots.
They don't even have to try.
They don't even have to try.
It just looks wacky
And they
by
go-
themselves.
And they always go like, oh, paano mo ginawa yan? Ang ganda-ganda. Ikaw pinakamaganda yung wacky shot. And then you're like, hindi ko nga narinig. Na wacky pala dapat.
Oh, can't be
Oh,
good.
no.
Kawawa naman.
And the entry that caps off the bottom half of the top 10 advantages of being ugly comes from Francis Kiko, Mr. Perk, Yontifian, Champanonoy, and Ra Ra Ulala.
They all said the same thing?
It's actually the most
Tweeted
popular
entry. Okay, they all say.
May career ka sa comedy at sa mga sing-along bars.
No.
Because they say,
Yes.
especially here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Here in the Philippines, comedy means you have to be funny looking.
Yeah.
You know, like in the US, you have like Bradley Cooper started out as a... Oh, no, not Bradley Cooper. What's his name? Good Luck Chuck? The one who... Every time he gets into, he breaks up with a girl,
Dak
she gets
Shepard?
married.
No, not Dak Shepard.
Not Dak.
Wait, I know him. I confuse him with this guy.
Yes,
Dak
I always
Shepard
confuse.
and-
Me, I confuse him with Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, what's it? No, really?
Yeah. I always confuse Bradley Cooper with this guy. That's why I said Bradley Cooper. Dane Cook.
Dane Cook.
There you go. Okay, so he's even leading man material.
Yeah,
But in
he
the
can star against Kate Hudson.
Right?
Yeah.
But in the US, you can have these good-looking people doing comedy. But here in the Philippines, a good chunk of comedians are actually...
Well, Americans have their own version.
Yeah.
They think that thin people can't be funny.
Yeah.
Especially the guys.
Mhm.
Like Seth Rogen, when he lost all the weight, everyone was like saying, well, you're not that funny anymore.
Yeah.
But it's the same here. You'll probably be funnier because you're ugly.
Mhm.
I mean, you can see that. Vice Ganda, for example,
Yeah.
says like his face is like a horse,
Yeah,
right?
it's like you have to have a gimmick.
Even chocolate.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, no. Chocolate.
Chocolate. No,
Plus-
they own it. And they use it as part of their shtick.
Yes.
And they make fun of themselves. Actually, a big part of comedy is self-deprecation. You make fun of yourself,
yeah.
because you know that people are already doing that. So it's like, no, I can do that better than you guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, comedy bars, sing-along bars, you have a career in that.
Okay.
All right, let's start off at number 5 from Marlo. People always refer to you as, quote-unquote, mabait.
Yeah. You
When-
can see that in movies.
Especially when they're setting you up on a date.
On a date, like, how does she look like? Mabait siya. Ang
na
bait-bait.
talaga. Pinakamabait na nakilala kong tao. Hindi, ano itsura? Sobrang funny siya, ha? Nakakatuwa talaga.
Grabe ang personality.
Yes. But
You don't just hate those things.
on a regular basis, it sounds good. If people just called you mabait
Yeah.
or great personality,
But when you're being asked,
if they look good,
and you keep insisting that they're
but
mabait,
doesn't sound good to you. Number 4 from Freezy Menthol. Ugly people study harder, so they get better grades, so they get better jobs. Because they've got something to prove.
There is truth to that.
To a degree.
You know,
Yeah.
when you fail at other parts of life,
Mhm.
you kind of try to compensate
Yeah.
in others.
Usually, let's say you're an athlete, your studies tend to suffer because you're so busy training.
Of course, generally, okay, we're talking about stereotypes.
Yeah, stereotypes. And then if you're pretty, the stereotype would be you're
You're not
always
so-
hanging out with boys.
Or
always dating,
you're a brat.
You're very popular, so you don't really you don't feel like you need to study as hard.
Or smart girls are ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So, but these are stereotypes.
Or ugly girls are
Are
smart.
smart, yeah. And number 3, coming from Check Out Nikki, marami kang me time.
Because nobody wants to be in your
To
company.
hang out with you. Yeah, because me time is like, you do things just by yourself, for yourself.
Yeah.
You don't have to, bother with other people. You've got a lot of those. Number 2, coming from Shezkatron. madali mag-shopping kasi napakadaling ternohan ang blusang itim. It goes with jeans, it goes with skirts.
If you're too young and you don't know the reference, it's a Filipino movie.
Yes.
About a girl an ugly girl who found this magical black blouse, blusang itim. And every time she wore it, she would turn
pretty.
Beautiful.
And didn't they have like a remake of that?
Oh, I don't know. Really?
I don't know. It's sort of like, or was it Campanerang Cuba?
I think that one.
Yeah.
For sure that one.
With Ann Curtis.
Ann Curtis.
Right? And the top advantage of being ugly comes from Young Indie, Francis Kiko, and Camilo.
They all say?
Usually, magaganda ang boses nila. Pwedeng mag-FM DJ.
Hala!
We're FM DJ.
Hala!
Yes. You know that. And speaking of stereotypes.
Mirror, please. Where's the mirror?
Webcam.
What the heck?
Yeah. But you know what?
Well, that's not simply not true.
I know, right?
That's not true.
No, let's face it. Before us, before us, it used to be a stereotype that if you were a DJ, you didn't look so good because you had a great voice.
It's funny because just as you were saying the entry from Young Indie and
Francis Kiko and Camilo.
My brother also said the same thing.
Yes.
Advantage of being ugly. Well, you can still make it on radio.
Exactly.
Thank you, Kuya.
No, but that was before us. But you know, when we came along, we changed the rules.
Not. Actually, we kind of, because after we came
fed
in,
the stereotype.
Yeah, we fed the stereotype, but after us, that's when radio jocks had to be beautiful.
Actually, that's
they
true.
They had to be a certain look.
If you see
gotta be handsome or a great body.
If you see the newer ones now,
they're models.
Yeah,
and
they get
models,
artistas,
endorsers.
Models.
Yeah.
People who have great
who are
faces,
on TV,
incredible
have
bodies,
commercials.
Yeah. So you know.
So yes, we agree. Much as we hate it.
A time.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Fine.
Unfortunately. The top 10 advantages of being ugly. Let's start off at number 10, coming from Homer Singson. If you are successful in your career, people will always think you earned it.
Yes.
Not because you didn't coast on your good looks, you didn't coast on your popularity. It's sheer talent.
Yeah, it's not. Sometimes it's not true.
It's not true.
Sometimes it's because you stayed long enough in the company.
Yeah. Sometimes because you sip.
Yes.
Sometimes because
you're good at politics.
Exactly. But of course, we don't take the top 10 that
seriously. Yeah.
Number 9 from iWink. Tipid sa kuryente. iWink and Humdinger. Tipid sa kuryente. Because the dark agrees with you so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're such a good fit in the darkness.
Yeah. Bagay ka dun.
Bagay
sa
na
madilim, bagay.
Number 8 from iWink. Mabenta kang mascot kasi gusto nilang takban ang mukha mo.
Yeah, you are so covered.
And actually, wait, somebody sent in there. Young Indie was saying, in the fast food industry, there is such a thing called quote-unquote pang-kitchen.
Yes.
So according to Young Indie, whether you like it or not, gumagaling ka sa kusina. Because in the fast food industry, they would hire you and there are certain people called pang-kitchen. It means you're not good for counter people.
Because I worked in a fast food chain when I was 16.
And
was
they
I
put you
16?
in the counter?
My first day was at the counter.
There you go. See?
They tried me at the kitchen. I was all right, but they had to bring me back outside. But possibly because I'm so puny, I was so skinny and so small that they didn't think I could handle everything.
Yeah. But there are people who might be good at the counter,
but
they'd rather put you...
they're not presentable, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That's the euphemism,
Yes.
not presentable.
They put you in the kitchen instead. They put your talents.
You're hideable, not presentable.
And number 7, coming from Hikaru Jean, no one would ever accuse you of sleeping your way to the top.
You can't.
Even if you wanted to,
Yes.
they would never accuse you of it.
Because there's a belief that only beautiful, sexy people get laid.
And
It's
exactly.
not true.
No, but like Okay, obviously, regardless of how you look like, you can be very active in the sack.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look a certain way, they would never think that the act would get you somewhere.
That's true.
Right? Only pretty people would say, okay, in return of my sleeping with you, you have to give me a promotion. That only works if you're really hot.
Yeah.
If you don't look hot, you can't demand that of your partner.
If anything, they're gonna go. Thank your lucky stars. I'm even doing this with you.
Right? It would be a favor to you, not to the person you want a favor from.
This big old topic called sex.
I know, right? And
there's a lot to say about it. A lot to say.
Of
the
course.
act in itself, how it affects boys and girls, boys and boys.
Yeah.
There's so much to say. The politics of it, how you feel afterwards, how you feel before.
The implications.
Yeah.
How to get a lot of it, how to get less of it. There are so many things to say, right?
But we've been gagged.
I know.
You can't say anything. Not really.
But the entry that caps off the bottom half of the top 10 advantages of being ugly comes from Coach Edric.
He says,
pwede kang kunin sa isang ad na before and after. Obviously, you're going to be before, right?
Yes.
Pero yung ad, before and after evolution. Not a beauty product, but evolution. You were before evolution, and the hot-looking guy or girl will be after evolution.
Can I just have like an off-topic thing? I'm looking at names, right? Obviously, for little boys, and Homo Bono, like Homo Bono Adaza, is in the baby name book. Baby name book. And it means a good man. Homo for man, bono, good.
Oh yeah.
Homo bono.
So which is weird because homo should mean same.
Same.
Like Homo sapiens.
Yeah. Homo
bono.
Homo bono it means good man.
Good man.
Apparently.
Okay. I thought it was like your name. They merged the mom and the dad's name.
I thought so too.
I didn't know that it actually stood for something.
And it's funny because there are names that are like, there's a name that stands for unfortunate. Why would you name your child?
No, there are a lot of names that they don't.
Dolores.
Dolores means sorrow.
Pain. Oh yeah.
Socorro means help.
Yes.
They say if you name your daughter Socorro, she would always be asking for help. What are the others? Dolores, Socorro. There are a couple of others.
Yeah.
They sound nice, but they actually don't mean very nice.
Do you know the comedian Aziz Ansari? Aziz apparently means the powerful one.
Oh, that's a nice name then.
That's a nice name.
Yeah.
Your name means valiant king?
Yes. Peaceful ruler.
They're peaceful ruler.
Yeah, Frederick. Yeah. So, a lot goes into the name. And they say it depends on, it would have an effect on the
life
personality of the child.
What about me? My name means...
Because yours... it accidentally meant something, but it's more of...
A combination of my father and my mother's name.
Like a portmanteau.
Yes, it is a portmanteau.
See? Here we go. The top 10 advantages of being ugly. Thank you to Paul Jeffrey for sending this in.
I thought you were going to say, thank you to Paul Jeffrey for being ugly.
No. Who we just met.
Yeah.
Him and Rodel.
He is so...
And Rodel Soros.
Yeah.
Number 5 from XT Boy. Tipid ka sa prosthetics.
Yeah, you don't have to.
But you know what?
Yours is au naturel.
Like for instance, Ann Curtis, when she was Campanerang Cuba, it doesn't work.
Because
it doesn't matter what they put on her.
That's true.
You can see the beauty of the eyes.
The
you can see the skin. You can see
the hair.
Even if they put these teeth, fake teeth or whatever,
beautiful.
You can see it. It's just shining through.
Yeah.
Number 4, coming from Lock On Stratus. Ang dami mong friends. Kasi tuwing magpo-profess ka ng love, they always tell you, I love you
friends.
Only as a friend.
Dami mong friends.
Ang dami mong friends. The friends that you don't really appreciate because you'd rather have them as girlfriends.
I was rewatching Funny People, and one of the jokes that Adam Sandler said, do you ever notice that people who have a lot of friends on Facebook have none in real life?
Yeah.
And you know what they're doing on a Friday night? On the computer.
Adding more friends.
Adding more friends.
Number 3 coming from Cholo Andrito and Coach Edric. You always get free makeovers.
People feel the need to help you out.
Yeah, remember that show? I used to watch that all the
Ambush
time.
Makeover.
Ambush Makeover. Obviously, they would look for people who are messes. And if they see
Spot you
and you look like a mess and you need some intervention, that's when they approach you and say, we want to do an ambush makeover.
Yeah. I like that show.
It was so much fun.
You know who I didn't like there? The big girl with curly hair.
Oh.
The African American girl.
Yeah.
She's always too pushy.
I don't like the guy.
Oh, you
he's
don't
so
like the
loud.
Guy. Yeah, he is really loud.
He's always shouting, and I don't know. I'm just not a big fan.
He's legally deaf or something.
Yeah, and he's just a little too hyper in a weird way.
In a weird way.
Yeah, but if somebody approaches you for an ambush makeover, you gotta go
all the time.
Because remember, before they approach you, they would tell the camera, "What's wrong with you?" There's this girl, and her hair is like a bird's nest.
Look at her.
I just want to straighten that out. They always do that. So, ouch. And number 2, coming from No Name, people won't mind if your profile pics are fake.
They would rather. They would
rather.
prefer it.
They would rather you put a cartoon or a celebrity, because if you put your real picture
or
there,
an insignia.
And the top advantage of being ugly comes from Tian26 Jack.
She says,
di ka na mag-iisip kung bakit walang nagkakagusto sa'yo. Wala ka mang boyfriend, at least meron kang peace of mind.
Oh, that is so bad.
At least you have
but you
peace of
understand
mind.
why.
You understand why. Rather than, like sometimes people who are always like either nobody relationship with them or their relationships fail. They always go, what's wrong? I'm doing everything right, but what is wrong? It's difficult because you don't know what's wrong. And you're always asking what's wrong. But if, let's say, in Tian26's case, if you know why, at least there's an acceptance. There's this sigh of relief.
Kasi
and you go,
pangit ako, so nobody wants to be in a relationship
and that's
with
it.
me.
It's painful, yes. But
it's the
do
truth.
you wonder? No.
No. Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. So wala ka mang boyfriend, meron ka namang peace of mind.
So here's the euphemism today.
Yes.
Alam mo yung office mate natin na yan? Ang daming peace of mind. Ang dami niyang peace of mind.
May peace of mind na siya.
Ang dami.
Yeah. And recently what I learned, let me digress though. That there's a limit on Twitter.
Yes, I saw your tweet. Twitter, you were on Twitter jail.
Twitter jail. But there's a way around it.
How?
Okay, if you text more than 100 texts within an hour, you will be on Twitter jail.
Okay.
Or if you reach 1,000 in a day.
Yeah.
But what you can do is, you can tweet, let's say 90 first. Wait an hour. You can tweet another 90. And then wait an hour. And then tweet another 90. Fair. I know, right?
Only because I think they should factor in how many people tweet you.
Exactly.
Because obviously when people tweet you, you need to tweet back.
And on Facebook, they do the same thing. They are very suspicious, but it's automatic. If, let's say, you're commenting on everyone who greeted you happy birthday, if you do it too fast or you do too many, you will get a message from Facebook that says,
slow down.
Like spam alert, you're tweeting too much. You might be. They're not saying that you are, but they're saying you might be spam.
Recognized.
So we suggest, if you're a human being, to slow down, or else we will block your account. It's so freaky, and I'm like, but how do I do it? I wanna thank everyone who greeted me a happy birthday.
I think they should factor in how many people tweet you.
It's so weird.
And then base it on that, not on just, obviously, if nobody's tweeting you and then you're tweeting 100 tweets an hour.
Let's say you have 2 followers and then you're tweeting I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
300,000 tweets a day.
They have to take into consideration that maybe you're being greeted.
Yeah.
And it works for celebrities who are being tweeted by so many people.
One celebrity, Gabe Mercado, he closed his account and then he started another one for whatever reason. I forgot what. So obviously, if you just restarted your account, you would start getting in touch with your friends. So you would send a message to all your friends saying, hey, I have a new account on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So could you
friend me?
Could you befriend me? Apparently, Facebook thought he was a spammer and blocked his account at the very start.
Oh.
So it's weird. It's very tricky. Anyway. So be careful when it comes to Twitter and Facebook. There are ways that they might block you or stop you from tweeting if you're too active. They get very suspicious of you. Yeah, I learned something that day.
Yeah.
So now I do it. 90 an hour, 90 an hour,
Yeah.
90 an hour.
Oh.
Until 1,000. Then you'd have to wait 1 day. There.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. Thank you to Paul Jeffrey for sending in the top 10 advantages of being ugly. Let's start off at number 10, coming from Aryan Aubrey. Di ka kukulitin ng mga nagbebenta ng insurance at condo sa mall. Di ka nila lalapitan.
Yeah, they have a feeling like, no, not this one.
Not this one. Well, either they think you can't afford it,
Yeah.
or they're scared of you.
Yeah.
And they don't want to get, because they can
be pesky.
pushy.
Yeah.
Like really pushy.
Really, really pushy.
Well, with one of the worst that I've experienced was not so much insurance and condo. He wasn't really selling anything, but in a certain grocery, there's this place where you get to try out these chairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, I just need you to try it out, and then you'll write your name there. You don't have to buy anything. You just have to try it out, and it's very relaxing. And I'm like, no, I'm really in a hurry. And he was like, sige na sir, kasi para lang makakain na ako kasi hindi pa ako kumakain. And I'm like, nagmamadali ako. Sige na sir, kasi talaga, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
So, yeah, like, which part of no didn't you understand?
Exactly. And it's like, I can't believe you. I mean, you're literally accosting me and not letting me go until I give you what you want.
And then
I'm
he's also like, if I get really hungry, it's all your fault.
Exactly.
If I miss my meal.
Right? And it was just like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe you're doing
you can't
this.
trust them because sometimes they'll do anything.
Yeah, because I think it's sort of like by commission.
Yes.
And they need to have like a certain number of people to try it out.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ones who would earn would be, well, the chair manufacturers, the massage chair manufacturers. But those people.
Yeah.
Number 9, coming from Marion Cast. Nobody will hate you just because you're beautiful.
Because you're not.
Because you're not. There's nothing to hate.
Simple as that.
Because you know how some people, some beautiful girls, other girls hate them automatically.
Yeah.
Even if they're nice, even if they're approachable, even if they're wonderful human beings, the moment you're pretty, they hate you.
Instantly, even if you haven't done anything bad or said anything bad.
Even if you're the most wonderful human being on the
they'll
planet,
just hate you.
They will hate you.
And other girls tend to band together when there's a new girl.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you know, some of the meanest I noticed are not so much the ugly girls, but the ones who are kind of pretty.
Yeah, because they're
because they're in the running.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, ugly
they feel
girls,
threatened.
Yeah, they feel threatened because obviously, if the girls who are not really pretty, they can still be haters.
Yeah.
But the ones who are kind of pretty, they're going to feel, oh no, my throne, however flimsy the throne is about to be taken away.
Yeah.
And they get extra mean to the really
catty.
pretty girls.
Real catty.
Number 8 from Medyo McDreamy. Kung sa fast food, meron silang tinatawag na pang-kitchen, in a certain mall, meron silang tinatawag na pang-warehouse. Apparently, Medyo McDreamy's brother worked for that mall, and he was part of the HRD, Human Resources Department, and they really judge applicants that way. So
well,
there
in
are
sales, that's kind of expected.
And so when they see somebody who looks a certain way, they say, ito pang warehouse, which means it's a euphemism for they can't face people. They'd have to just maybe carry boxes in the privacy of the warehouse.
Because their only boxes see them.
Yes.
Not even.
Exactly. Number 7 from Aeroflux. Maraming tao na takot tumanda at pumangit. Ikaw fearless.
You're already there.
You're already there.
You've dealt with things that people are still about to deal with.
They're anticipating it. You're living it.
Yeah.
So there's a big problem there for them. For you, you're
nothing.
Fearless.
It's like, what?
I eat this for breakfast.
Every single day. So.
And the entry that caps off the bottom half of the top 10 advantages to being ugly comes from Alaninsky.
Alaninsky says...
He quotes Betty White.
Okay.
Normal people should get 8 hours of sleep. 9 if you're ugly. You need that extra hour.
You need more work.
You need that extra hour, you know?
Yeah.
So the advantage, you get to sleep more.
Mm-hmm.
Because ugly people need to sleep an extra hour.
Naku, paano yan?
For your sake.
Antukin ako.
What if you're like, paano yan? Ako, 10 hours.
But sometimes if you get too much sleep, you end up puffy.
Yeah, you retain water.
You retain water. Not nice.
So not healthy. Not too much.
Not too much, but if you're a little on the, what side, the ugly side, you might need more beauty sleep. Yeah. There's more to do.
There's more beauty to be had. So the top 10 advantages of being ugly. If you want to join us, advantages of being ugly. Number 5, coming from Ash Big Ash. You don't have to worry about breakups.
Because you'll never get into relationships.
It won't even start. I don't know what's worse. Because, I hear both sides of the coin. I hear people saying, at least you had a relationship. Not like me. I've never been in a relationship. Even if you broke up, at least. And then from the other side, you would hear, no, you guys are better. Because, rather that you didn't get anything, rather than to kind of have something, only to lose it in the end, that sucks more. So I guess it's just a matter of perspective.
Yeah, and both are bad.
Both suck.
Yeah, there's just nothing, no way around it.
There's no way. I mean,
what you want to be is to be wanted.
Exactly.
And what you want is for someone to stay with you.
And either way, you feel like you're not wanted. Whether somebody broke up with you,
or something never started with you,
or something never started, you just feel that nobody loves you.
Unwanted.
Yeah. And that's the root of it.
But people who might be in relationships could feel unwanted.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily just the ones who are not in relationships who feel unwanted.
That's why they were saying everyone's taken. Either taken or taken for granted. And you can be taken for granted as a single person because nobody's looking your way, or you can be taken for granted in a relationship.
Yeah.
You can be officially committed to each other.
Those things hurt. Both of them.
Both suck. So here we go. The top 10.
How's that for a positive spin?
I know, right? Number 4. On paper, it's positive.
But it doesn't feel like it.
But it doesn't make you feel
not
positive. At all. Number 4, from Gail Christian. Kapag nagkagera ulit at nagkahanapan ng comfort women, safe ka. Because even just looking at you makes people uncomfortable. So how can you be a comfort woman if you make people uncomfortable? Number 3, coming from Alaninsky. People really, really respect your personal space.
They don't want to come close.
They don't want to come close.
Not at all. It's like, oh, yeah. This is the boundary.
Yeah.
I'll honor this boundary and not come close to you.
The 10-meter boundary, I see it, and I respect it.
The 600-meter?
It gets bigger and bigger, the uglier you get. Number 2, coming from Acer. Meron kang built-in lie detector. So, kapag tinawag kang gwapo o maganda, at least alam mong bolero yung tao. And instantly, you know they're liars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's no way on earth that you could be described as guapo or maganda.
I didn't know what to make of a Tyra Banks episode where there were these guys who liked their women like 400 pounds and above.
Yeah.
And anything below a certain number of pounds, they really lose interest. So the women, if they want to stay with their men, have to be unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's not just so much that you don't look good.
It's not so much about the looks, yeah.
It's so unhealthy. Your body can't take all that weight.
They're called chubby chasers.
Chubby chasers, but this is like to the extreme, because they're not chubby.
You don't actually. When you're 400 pounds, that's not chubby anymore. Chubby is like maybe 20 pounds overweight.
Yes,
that's chubby.
Yes.
We're talking hundreds of pounds overweight.
It's crazy.
And the top advantage of being ugly comes from Mommy Marlene.
Mommy Marlene says,
you can be friends with the hottest guys on the planet at hindi ka aawayin ng mga girlfriend at wives nila. They will feel safe.
Around you.
They can be friends with you because they don't feel like they're in any danger.
Yeah.
Because their husbands, their boyfriends are in no danger of
being attracted to you.
Yeah, so they're safe.
Nah.
What about us?
Somebody just said, at least matatypan ka ni Heidi Klum. At saka ni Paulina Poriskova.
Oh, that's bad.
Because Rico Kasich is not really handsome.
But they're rock stars.
They're rock stars.
It's the rock. Obviously, it's a rock star. But you know what? Like Heidi Klum loves her husband even physically. She's crazy about him. She finds him
super
crazy
hot.
sexy.
Yes.
So you can't really argue with that.
He sends her heart beating.
And according to her, the first time she met him, he was wearing like cycling shorts.
And she was thoroughly
and she
impressed.
was like, oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, guten Tag.
Hello, Seal, and hello, you.
Guten Tag. Yeah. There's no Auf Wiedersehen.
No, not with that one. Well, for me, probably, it's a serious answer. Okay. You don't have to worry about fading looks. You know, like a lot of good-looking people, it's a serious. You may find it so silly or so, you know, like, oh, come on. I mean, give me a break. But they do really fret about, you know, when they start getting old, when they start getting wrinkles. It's because they look so good. There's really a lot of stress.
And there's something that will fade.
Yeah.
Since you're not good looking.
There's nothing to fade.
There's nothing to fade. So it's all right.
Yeah. At least there's no stress. I mean...
at least.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about that.
I mean, you could see that in Hollywood. The ones who were so hot 20 years ago are struggling to keep their looks, you know, fresh and young, and they're trying to compete with women who are 20 years younger than them. And sometimes it's a little hard to see, because you have to at some point admit that time has robbed you of your beauty.
And that's
why it's a good idea to invest in something else other than just your looks.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to be talented so that even though you're no longer eye candy,
you will still survive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and enjoy your beauty years when you're most beautiful, your youngest, your most vivacious.
Actually, a lot of our contrabidas here in local showbiz, they started out, a lot of people don't realize that they started out looking incredibly gorgeous. And then they were up for like leading lady. And then, you know, as their beauty started to fade, in fact, to the point that they started looking gruesome, they parlayed it into contrabida roles.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Right? So at least. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Wow, what a busy